Hello my friends, my name is Tim Johnson. Fear, worry, anxiety, stress, alongside anger and resentment, drove me to drinking and drugs many times during my life. And to relapses, many relapses were caused by those things. As far back as I can remember from being a small boy, I was absorbed and consumed by worry and fear and anxiety. I always felt different, as though I had a hole in my soul. You know, I didn't fit in, felt lonely in a crowded room, if you like. You know, I was desperate to be accepted by my peers and by other people. Consequently, I had social anxiety. I was very shy, loner, if you like. Until I discovered that by stealing my poor old mum's vodka and pills, I think from about the age of 13, I found that all these negative feelings, if you like, would dissolve in this cloud of almost like being wrapped in cotton wool, if you like, this buzz that I got from alcohol and pills. And that's, of course, that's a negative thing. And throughout my life, I've had to tried to get a handle, because I'm by no means perfect. I'm going to share with you in this video today how I handle those things today within my sobriety, because I'm fully aware that any one of those things, particularly fear and worry and stress, if you like, can drive me backwards, and if I let my head take over, it's very dangerous for me and can push me into some very negative and dark thoughts, which, you know, I don't want to be. And whether you're an addict or not, you know, it's in today's modern world where we're driven by stress, anxiety, fear, if you like, by what we absorb in the media and the stress of modern day life. I mean, I'm not going to belittle this. It's going to be very difficult for some of you out there, because I know what it's like. I mean, I've helped bring up beautiful children, but it's very, very stressful. And if you're struggling to bring up children, you know, particularly teenagers, and you're struggling to make ends meet, you know, currently it's very difficult. Some people are having to choose between paying a heating bill and eating, you know, and that's how serious it is. I mean, I went out and bought a gas canister here in Spain the other day for my hot water. 4 months ago, it was 12 euros, and a couple of days ago, it was 24 euros. And that's scary, and that's just me living on my own here, you know, and food's the same, you know, and it's the same wherever you are in the world. You know, bad news, and now social media controls us, if you like, you know, and news is only a click away or a second away. And most of it false, I have to say, and designed to drive your fears. Then it's really important today to try and learn to get a handle on and understand about fear and worry and anxiety, and what's behind it, and how to get some sort of control on it. You're never going to be perfect, because we live in a world where unless you're a Zen Buddhist sat up on a mountain in Tibet somewhere, you know, in total seclusion, meditating all day, it's very, very hard to have a handle on your mind and your thoughts, you know, at all times. It's impossible because of the stress of your life, and bad things happen, don't they? You know, you might be in the pink cloud of early sobriety at the moment. Believe me, you know, I'm not trying to be negative here, just speaking as someone who's been through that many times and spoken to thousands of people who've been through it as well. It won't last, because shit happens and life happens, and all of a sudden it's very scary, because you get thoughts, feelings, emotions, desires, all sorts of fears and worries and anxiety and stress zooming in on you all of a sudden, because you've been numbing that all along the way, or trying to, with your alcohol and drug consumption, and all of a sudden there's no cushion there. And your mind and body are still in the very early stages of healing. I've got a video on pause on this channel, post-acute withdrawal syndrome. It's worth having a look at because it's a real condition and can last many months, and drive many people back into addiction because they feel they're not getting anywhere. But it's very normal to experience all these rushes of emotions, particularly anxiety and depression and stress and worry, or low mood. If it's not depression, it's very low mood, and wondering why you bothered. Because the easy part, as I've said, is getting sober. The very hard part is staying sober, and it's a day-to-day struggle. I don't want to call it a struggle, but sometimes it is a battle with your mind, and having the right tools to fight that battle is extremely important. Those of you who follow the channel will know I go to meetings and that's not for everybody. I know that's not for everybody, but having connection and someone on the end of a phone and understanding, someone who understands the condition and who you can talk to at any point and share your feelings with is very, very, it's probably number one on the most important list. And if you haven't got that connection, or you can't find it anywhere and you're isolating and in solitude, that's a dangerous place to be in your own mind, and you need to make that connection very quickly, however you do it, and whether that's groups online, whether it's AA, NACA, Smart Recovery, just your own friends and family, if they're understanding enough to go along with that, then that's extremely important. And now I've just covered all that. Just a little bit about fear and worry and anxiety and stress, if you like, but fear and worry in particular. The great philosopher Descartes, who was a French philosopher, had a saying, cogito ergo sum. And what that means is I think, therefore I am, which is a very famous saying, and it's about consciousness, human consciousness. I think, therefore I am. It makes us unique as human beings because we think and we're aware of ourselves, we're aware of our surroundings, we problem solve, we have an imagination which runs wild many times. It was Seneca who said, the Stoic, who said that most of the very worst things that happen in our lives happen in our imagination. And that's where a lot of fear is based. Now, of course, I'm not talking about real and justified grief and fear and anxiety, which comes with some terrible things that happen to us or have happened to us in our lives, which we're still dealing with. But from a day-to-day point of view, I'm the worst. I look back on my childhood and a lot of my fear was based in my imagination, and even is today. And I have to be very aware of that. So if I suddenly, around COVID, if I suddenly developed a cough, then my imagination, that's a simple example, but then my imagination will run away into all sorts of dark places. And it'll immediately, because this is what your imagination in your brain and your mind does, it'll jump to the worst scenario. And what that does, because your body can't distinguish between what's your imagination and what's real, so that will set off the automatic fear response in your body, anxiety response, if you like. It will release noradrenaline and all sorts of, your heart will start beating faster, your sweat gland, you'll start sweating, you'll start the feeling in your gut that we're all, fully aware of, like worms rolling around in your gut. And it's doing you some severe harm. It's increasing your blood pressure and doing all sorts of damage to you, because your body can't distinguish between what's real and what's not. So your imagination sometimes can be your worst enemy, because it will jump to that way. And it's really important to and it's not easy, because if you've got day-to-day stuff happening around you, to recognize when you're jumping into that fear mode. Because if you're in the future, then, it hasn't happened. There's nothing, you're just imagining a scenario, and usually the worst one, which could possibly happen. It'll play out in your mind, And the thing is, when you start overthinking like that and create that fear and worry, it will happen. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't think about it and jump straight in, obviously, if it's a dangerous situation you're entering, then there has to be some sort of caution. Fear's there. It's a primal response. It's there for a reason. But the sort of fear which you create by jumping into the future is you're just creating a problem for yourself. And the same with regrets, if you like, and looking into the past. I mean, it's important to remember your roots and where you've come from. It's how we learn, from past behaviours. I mean, it's really important for me, for instance, and anyone else who has relapsed, to remember how bad those relapses are, because your mind again will tell you, it's a curse of any alcoholic or addict. Your mind will say, it'll be different this time. I can just have one or two. I can just have it'll make me feel better. It'll get rid of that fear. It'll worry. It'll get rid of that stress and anxiety that I'm carrying around with me all day. And trust me, it will for about an hour or half an hour or less than that, until it comes back 1,000 times worse. And the problem with me as an alcoholic, and I have to admit to this, one drink will, for me, or one drug, one pill will set off a chain reaction. It will set off an uncontrollable craving and obsession, which means I can't stop on one drink. It won't be just one or two drinks. And I know, if my brain says it'll be different this time to me, the next time that happens and I succumb to that first drink or drug, I'm dead, because I can't survive another relapse. I know that because what my body told me during the last one, and I have to be very grateful, after the abuse. And I don't know what's going on. All the tests I've had I've been really lucky. And many, many people aren't. I was talking to someone the other day who had a friend who'd been sober for many, many years, and his brain told him that, he could have, it would be different this time. And he'd been sober and he had a handle on it. He'd been going to AA for years, and he had a handle on it all now and a control. And he took that one drink, and that one drink killed him. Because there's an old saying, if you fall off the wagon keeps moving along. And that's really true for alcoholics and addicts, because you'll never go backwards in addiction or alcoholism. It's always moving forwards, always getting worse. It's a progressive illness. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse. So the wagon keeps moving. So where you go back to, if you decide to take that first drink or drug again, is worse than where you left off before. And it escalates unconsciously at such a speed that it will whisk you off your feet. If you're an addict or an alcoholic, death will be very near, because it'll take everything from you. Then it'll come back for you. It'll kill you. And it killed this person. One drink killed him. His body couldn't tolerate it anymore. His liver, which had been sort of in remission for however many years, he had this drink, and it wasn't one he took, 2 or 3, whatever it was he took, and his body just said, it's a poison, what you're putting in. As soon as you take a drink or a drug, your body recognises it for what it is. Alcohol is a poison. Your body immediately, the second you drink it, tries to expel it. So, it immediately recognises your liver, it's a shock, it goes into shock. So it's really important. And fear, worry, anxiety, which I started talking about, sorry, I digressed a bit there, is what drives you back into that first drink again a lot of the times. So what do I do? There's many things you can do. And before you poo-poo them all, one of the most important things in getting and staying sober is to have an open mind, be open to everything and attached to nothing. Because if you're not, and you don't have an open mind, then you're going to miss a trick, because you need all the help you can get staying sober. And being in the present moment is the most important thing of all. Now, there's a book out called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which is superb. It takes a lot of understanding, a lot of reading. You have to keep going backwards and forwards in it to get a handle on it. I meditate every day, and I've learned how to breathe. Learning how to breathe is the most wonderful and important thing I've done as regards watching how my fear and worry and anxiety responses and stress responses, because invariably when they happen, I'm jumping ahead, or I'm going backwards, or I'm looking into regret, or I'm looking into fear in the future, something that's not happened yet, as I said. So to get a handle on that, I take it, I've learned how to breathe, and I just, wherever I am and whatever I'm doing, if it's possible to close my eyes, I'll close my eyes and I'll breathe for 2 or 3 minutes and just chant over and over in my head, in this moment, everything is perfect in this moment. Just bring my thoughts back to the moment, because we miss out on so much not being in that. How many people are in the moment? I mean, I walked down a real beautiful view. I walk past every day. A lot of tourists here at the moment, with it being Easter, and COVID sort of took a back seat now, and the tourism's back on track again. And they're not looking at the view, they're looking at it through their phones, not experiencing the moment. And that's endemic, isn't it? That's what we all do these days. I mean, I've been guilty of it myself. I'm not, like I say, I'm far from perfect. I work every day at trying to be, because I often thought, what's the meaning of life? And because I used to overthink everything. What am I here for? What's the point? And the point is, in my humble opinion, and it is a humble opinion because I've got no idea really, just to leave the world a slightly better place than what you found it, or when you were born into it. And to do that, that's about being kind and considerate, loving, and giving service. For an addict and alcoholic to give service, wherever it is, it's volunteering, whether it's in AA, whatever it is, service is an integral part of staying sober. Best thing for your self-esteem you can possibly do, because as alcoholics and addicts, self-esteem is rock bottom normally. So to make yourself feel better about yourself, if nothing else, but the fact that you're giving to another person free, without even thinking about it, and that becomes a habit. I just try and smile at someone every day and get a smile back as well. Sometimes they look at that as though you're a madman. They're probably right. I am, but if it makes them, but some people smile back, and it makes them. I mean, I know if someone smiles at me, I feel better. If I'm having a shitty day and someone smiles at me, I feel better. To make someone's day a little better is a real gift. And I'm grateful for that. Gratitude lists, really important with fear, worry and stress, realising that memento mori, as the Stoics say, that it can all be snatched away in a moment. Know your mortality, you could be dead next second. That brings you, that just sounds morbid, but it's a fact. To live your life like it's your last day, if you like, without being too stupid about that. Just to realise that, just to wake up and smell the roses, if you like, that banishes a lot of anxiety and fear and worry from your mind, and it's a learning curve for us all, for me, for you out there, because like I say, you've got all sorts of stuff going on around you. If you're worried about paying the mortgage, or you're going to be thrown out your home, or whether to heat or eat, how difficult is that? But for your own sanity and your family's sanity and health, because that's ultimately all that's important, and their health, to be present and to be the best you can be for them is the best gift you can give them and yourself. If you understand that, then however bad your situation is, if you can draw some light somewhere and let the chink of light into the darkness, if you like, it's a slow process. I'm into Stoicism. Have a look at the Daily Stoic. Look it up online. I haven't got the web address now, but just Daily Stoic if you Google it. The Stoics had it right. They 2,000 years ago, they were coming out with stuff which is pertinent for today's world, so pertinent for today's world, but living in the moment and particularly, and memento mori, they were, and gratitude, and all their philosophies based around a blueprint, which is a great blueprint for life. And finally, what I'm going to talk about extremely quickly, one of the biggest killers of human beings, it's figures in 9 out of 10 of illnesses that are killing most human beings on this planet at the moment is insulin resistance. Now, insulin is a complicated thing. Look it all up. You know, there's many studies and much knowledge about it now. You know, we eat rubbish. You know, it's a fact. Particularly if you're newly sober, and I was guilty as anybody. There's no one loves sugar and sweets and junk food and processed food, you know, or loved it more than me. I gorged on it, particularly when I was feeling down, because it was one of the signs that I wasn't putting the work in. Now, without talking about all the other illnesses, which include cancers and Christ knows what else, and diabetes and all of these things, mental illness, Alzheimer's, dementia, depression, anxiety, stress, worry, fear is driven, a lot of it, by insulin resistance and by these spikes, these blood sugar spikes, which are caused by poor diet, eating refined food and sugar, tons of it in your diet. I mean, let's be fair, a little bit now and again. But it's like any addiction, you know, and I've cut it totally out. And I'm not saying you have to do that or be as extreme as me. But you know, it's like any addiction, like alcohol, like drugs, like anything else. It's bloody hard for a few weeks. But once that toxin's out of your system, you don't crave it. I promise you. You know, I just don't have it in the house. It's like people, places and things, isn't it? It's like drink. I don't have it in the house because if it's not there, I don't even think about it. Not that I would if it was here, because it doesn't worry me anymore. But sugar's the same, junk food's the same. I don't eat processed food, and I don't eat any sugar in my diet if I can avoid it. You know, natural sugars in fruit I eat, but any sort of fructose and stuff like that, any shitty sugars, what I call them, then I avoid them. My mood, my sleep, my anxiety, my worry, fear, all of those things have been 100 times better since I looked at my diet and started eating cleanly and healthily. And same with exercise, which I include as a daily discipline. You know, they all, and if you say you haven't got time to do it, you know, I don't care how busy your life is. You know, if you're spending money on junk, you can afford to spend it on healthy food. If you're sitting in front staring at Netflix, you can spend half an hour going for a walk in the fresh air, because you're investing in not only your own health, but your family's health as well, because you'll be better. You're 100% better for them when you're present, sober, less stressed, less fearful, less full of worry, and all of these things. So that's enough for today. Memento mori, as I said. Carpe Diem, seize the day today, make the today that change your life. Be kind to someone today. Please subscribe, like and share the videos. Just helps more people see them, basically, who need, you know, who may be helped by my experiences. It's simple as that. Much love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.